When head coach Mike Elko was asked if he considered courting Riley Leonard from Duke when he came to Texas A&M, he told us that he was happy with the quarterback situation. He has Connor Weigman. He needs nothing else. Connor's back, folks. He's healthy, according to Elko, and he will hit the ground running in fall camp in 2024. We know Connor. We know what he brings to the table. We saw him take over as a true freshman in 2022, and at worst, he showed tremendous promise. At best, was a good SEC quarterback his freshman year with games versus LSU and Ole Miss. He's back, guys. He's healthy, and he has a new offensive system to flourish in, to show what he has, to show that he's healthy, and that he is worthy of the draft hype he is already getting going into the year. Analysts, talking heads across the country are very high on Connor Weigman, of course, if he's healthy. So today, I want to break down the quarterback room, and of course, that conversation will center around Connor Weigman, the number one signal caller going into the season. Make no mistakes about it. And of course, we'll round out the room, talk about Henderson and Reed quickly. But I really want to focus on Connor today. This will be the first of several position group breakdowns I'm going to do going into the 2024 season. So make sure you guys like and subscribe so you don't miss a thing, and hit the notification bell so you see when I drop the next video. Thank you guys for being here. Let's get into it. So let's start with the eye test of Connor Weigman. What do you see from Connor? What are his strengths as a quarterback, a passer of the football, a head man of the offense? I recently went back and watched every game that he's taken at Texas A&M, every snap that he's taken. And I'm going to tell you a bunch of stuff you already know, but for the purposes of this video, I'm going to revisit everything just so we get a good feel for Connor going into the year. Connor is a great release quarterback. He has a lightning quick release. The ball comes from his ear area and it's out of there without a tell, without delay. It's a zippy quick release. Now, he doesn't have an amazing throwing arm. It's not a Goliath arm, but it's absolutely adequate, and he makes up for it with his timing, his anticipation, which are other strengths of his. He throws the ball before the receivers are open at times when it's necessary. He has great timing, great release, great feel for the ball, great thrower of the football. Now, you combo that with his other great attribute, his feel in the pocket. He has great pocket presence. He feels pressure. He detects pressure. He can get the ball out before the defender is in his face. But even if the defender is in his face, he can still throw a catchable ball. Now, that happened too often before under the previous regime in Jimbo's offense with a lackluster offensive line who was coached poorly. It wasn't as effective. It happened too often, but he was still able to do it. That should improve this year, and we'll get into more of the offensive scheme stuff later in this video. Connor Weigman also has great footwork in the pocket. He keeps his base. He's able to chop his feet, stay balanced, keep his eyes up. Those are all great things that he brings to the table. We know this. It can be even better under Klein's system. He's a great improviser of the ball. I don't know if the word is great. He's a solid improviser with the football. He's not an elite scrambler. He's likely not going to warrant a spy. But he has a great knack for scrambling for first downs on third and short and third and medium situations. He did it several times in his time at the quarterback of Texas A&M. He takes care of the ball. He's thrown 2 interceptions at Texas A&M, one of which came from an Anais Smith slip, and the defender behind him caught the ball. That was that slippery playing condition at the Miami game. The other interception also came in that Miami game in a late touchdown effort, a desperate effort at the end of the game, desperate to score a touchdown on 4th down through an interception. Aside from that, 16 touchdowns to 2 interception ratio, takes care of the ball, passing for about 68% completion rate. Highest QBR in the country when he went down last season. He brings all of that back, and hopefully with a more effective offense. Let's talk about how he fits into the new system under Klein. So even in Jimbo's sluggish, zone running, drop back passing, slow read, slow developing offense, Connor was still effective. So anything that Klein can bring to the table is going to basically be icing on the cake. It's going to be the cherry on top. It's going to make Connor even that much better. So there are 3 main things that I think are going to help Connor in this new system. Pace of the offense, the use of motion, and a more innovative and in-depth running game. So pace. Klein is not afraid to increase the tempo of an offense when he needs to. And I think overall, you're going to see the offense get lined up quicker. Now, don't think Josh Heupel, 100 miles an hour at all-time offense. Don't think that. Think about an offense that kind of revs the engine as needed. It's going to speed up, and it's definitely going to get into its alignment quicker. So first of all, That's going to keep defenses on their heels. They're not going to be able to sit back and read the offense, get into their formations, change their formations, make a bunch of reads at the line. That's not going to happen quite as often and as effectively. That will happen, but they're going to not be in such an advantageous position with Jimbo's slower, full substitution, every play offense. You're going to see the offense move to where the defense can't sub as often, get their packages out there, adjust as efficiently. It's also going to help the offensive line when the defense is on their heels and the personnel isn't exactly able to match the offense exactly. That's all beneficial for the offense. But getting lined up and getting in and out of forms is probably going to be the most beneficial thing to a quarterback because it just gives the quarterback a time to read the defense. So many times under Jimbo's offense, the offense was only getting aligned with 15 seconds left on the play clock. I think you're going to see the offense get aligned closer to that 20-25 second marker. Give Connor time to read the offense. Give Connor time to make his calls at the line of scrimmage. Give the offensive line time to read the look that they're getting with the box. That's all going to benefit Connor tremendously. So I think just a more efficient offense, but specifically the pace of the offense, the pace of getting in and out of forms, that's going to help Connor a lot. Klein's needs a lot more motion than Jimbo. And Jimbo did use motion sporadically in his last year with Bobby Petrino assisting him. But Klein's needs motion a lot. So it helps in a lot of ways. It can be done to set up RPO options. It can be done to get receivers in motion as an RPO threat. It can help create leverage in the running games, whether it's a tight end moving, a receiver moving to block, a receiver getting a handoff. It can help with all that. But the most beneficial thing it will do for Connor is it's going to allow Connor to identify defensive coverages. First of all, you can tell zone or man typically from a motion. You're going to see a lot more motion, a lot more tells for defensive coverage schemes. That's going to help Connor read a defense. It's also going to create stress points on defensive coverages. You're going to be able to leverage the field. You're going to be able to overload sides of the field with the motion that Klein uses in his offense. You're going to be able to find more soft spots in zone coverage. You're going to be able to get more leverage in man coverage. All this stuff is going to help Connor Weigman tremendously. And in college ball, this isn't pro-level DBs you're seeing. I mean, you're going to see some in the SEC, but they're going to be less polished than they will be at the next level. You can easily confuse a defense with controlled motion on the offensive side of the ball. We're going to see that a lot more in Colin Klein's offense. That's going to help Connor tremendously. And I think we're just going to see a better run game overall. Colin Klein's going to run to set up the pass, whether that's the quarterback running, the running back running, or getting receivers in motion running. A lot of guys are going to touch the ball, and I would wager you're going to see a lot of multi-running back sets given the personnel strengths of this Texas A&M offense where you have 4 viable running backs, maybe a little bit more shallower in the receiver room. You're going to see them lean more on the running backs here, especially without a fullback or an H-back that Colin Klein used a lot at Kansas State. So I would wager you see multiple running threats by way of multiple running back systems, multiple running back sets. Also, the blocking is going to be very, innovative. He uses a lot of trap blocks, a lot of counter blocks, a lot of pulling linemen, a lot of power running as opposed to Jimbo's zone scheme running. That stuff's going to help get the defensive box out of position, on their heels, and less able to pin their ears or just straight up attack the running lanes. That's going to create more gaps, but it's also going to create deception because he's going to use that stuff to create deception. That stuff's going to create a more unpredictable running game. So that's going to help set up play action. That's going to help Connor Weigman use his wheels. That's going to help the defense stay on their heels, and that's all going to help Connor Weigman as a passer. And while Jimbo used RPOs, I think Klein will lean on them a lot more, and I think he'll do them in a lot more creative way with more motion, more threats, and more leveraging the numbers as far as overloading sides of the field. You'll see motion into the RPO side, motion away from the RPO side. You're going to see a lot of different things under this running scheme and RPO scheme. It's all going to tremendously help Connor. You're also going to see more screens under Colin Klein, something that Jimbo did not utilize a lot, and that's great for players like Moose Muhammad, any of the running backs, Jade. A lot of these guys will do well with these screens with the O-lineman out in the field to block downfield. A lot of stuff that's just going to help a quarterback out. But I think the main benefit will be the pace in which this offense plays, getting in and out of plays quicker. That's all going to help Connor Weigman so much. So where does Connor Weigman stack up against the rest of the country, at least in his time that he has played before? I'm going to put PFF grades on the screen. In this grades Connor against the rest of the country. You can see 96th percentile in clean pocket grade. That's passing with a clean pocket, obviously. Standard drop back grade, 97%. First and second down grade, 94th percent. No play action grade, 97%. At or beyond the sticks grade, 94th percent. That's his efficiency passing in non-screen, non-bubble type plays. That's his drop back, reading the defense. Great in that department. Avoid negative plays, 98th percentile, which is amazing considering his offensive line before, the offensive scheme before. That lends itself to his attributes that we mentioned earlier, his ability to navigate the pocket and read pressure. Sack rate, 88th percentile, not as high as the others on this list, but again, considering what he was working with before, amazing. And now let's look at Klein's last couple of quarterbacks at the helm. It was Will Howard mainly. Avery Johnson did get some looks. We're going to look at Will Howard's numbers here. Efficient quarterback play. He had a 104 pass rating, 91% completion, 24-10 touchdown to interception ratio, and I think we all believe that Conor Weigman should be a better passer of the football than Will Howard, and he'll have better talent around him at Texas A&M than Kansas State. So if he can do that with Will Howard, let's see what he can do with Conor Weigman. It could be really, really special and fun, but again, confidence, health, name of the game. Now let's just take a quick second to talk about Conor Weigman's injury proneness. Is Conor Weigman injury prone? No. There is a narrative out there that he is, though. And this is amongst, message board chatter on Twitter, fans talking. There's this perception that Conor Weigman is injury prone, and it just pisses me off, man. It's not the real deal. It's not based in reality. Now, I do understand the misunderstanding. Conor Weigman got hurt once, really bad in 2023. Untouched blitzer, made direct contact with Conor Weigman, broke his foot. That happened. That was an injury. He has to get over that. And if you want to say he's injured, sure. He's coming off of an injury, sure. But that's the only injury he sustained in his time at Texas A&M. And yes, he's been hit several times, but he's played through everything he's been nicked up with. And everybody gets nicked up at quarterback in football. It's just how the game is. Conor Weigman stayed on the field, and it only took the flu for him to miss a game in 2022. He was out there the next week. So no, Conor Weigman is not an injury-prone player. He got hurt once. If you want to say he needs to come back from the injury, that's fine. But to say he's not an injury-proof player, you're taking the issues that have plagued Texas A&M's quarterback room overall and putting that all on Conor. Yes, A&M's had a ton of quarterback injuries, but again, Conor's only been injured once. So that narrative, that's not based in reality. It's a misunderstanding. It's an understandable misunderstanding based on the history of A&M's quarterback room. That's not it, though. Conor's healthy. He'll have better offensive line play this year. You have to believe that under Klein, under Adam Cushing, under Tommy Moffitt, under Mike Elko, and we move forward and we play ball. Let's talk about the rest of the room real quick. Obviously, we've seen Marcel Reed and Jalen Henderson in action at this point. We've seen Jalen Henderson play a great game, especially running the ball versus Mississippi State. Not the best defense, but damn it, he did well. Marcel Reed against Oklahoma State, maybe the best quarterback performance of the year last year. This is an experienced quarterback room as much as a backup can be experienced. You have full game experience amongst your two backup quarterbacks. And I think we're okay with either one seeing the field if they have to. But make no mistake about it, guys. This is Conor Weigman's year. For A&M to reach their highest goals in 2024, it's Conor Weigman or bust. That's it. There's no way around it. You cannot go out there and expect the same level of play with either one of those quarterbacks, as much promise as they have. Because, yes, they have experience, but they're going to need to ramp up to their college careers to get to that level if they have that in them. Conor gives you your best chance in 2024. So, guys, tell me what you expect from Conor Weigman in 2024. Maybe predict his stat line. Is he a 3,200-plus yard passer this year? Does he have the weapons around him to achieve that number? Are they going to run the ball so much that he doesn't maybe get close to that? Is it going to be a running first team? I think the sky's the limit for Conor Weigman. I think it will be a run first team, but I think that just opens the door for Conor to do amazing things on passing scenarios and with play action. I think we see the best Conor we've yet to see, and as long as he's back from that foot injury, the sky's the limit, and there's Heisman contender upside for Conor Weigman this year. There really is. And if you're breaking down A&M's offense, maybe not the most high-powered, flashy offense with amazing skill position players. You have running backs who are promising but still really need to prove themselves. Conor Weigman gives you that upside. He's the surefire star you have going into this offense. Him and Trey Zune are your best 2 players on offense going into the year. So we have that going for us. He has to go out there and do it. So guys, thanks for watching this video. I am doing a giveaway. If you haven't entered yet, I'll tell you how to enter. You see this sign right here? I had a second one made, and I'm giving this one away. It's a beautiful maroon version of that sign behind me. And to get a chance to win this game, to enter into the drawing, here's what you need to do. You need to be subscribed to this channel. You need to follow me on X. And you need to share my channel on X. It can be this video. It can be a previous video. It can just be a link to my channel. Those are the 3 things you need to do to get an entry. If you want additional entries, you can tag up to 4 friends in this video or whatever you retweet on X. Tag 4 people. That will get you 5 entries for the drawing to win this sign. Guys, we have a lot more to go through. This is the first of many position group breakdowns. We'll be doing the running back room next. Stay tuned for that. Like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Gig 'em.